What is going on, everybody? Vuo here, back with a brand new episode of Umineko When They Cry. Last time on, we finished up episode 5 with a trial of Natsuhi Ushiro Mira, a kangaroo court in which Erika proclaimed her truth that Natsuhi was the culprit and how she was actually seductress that convinced Kinzo in order to get all the gold and whatever. And eventually Bador said enough of that and he tried to fight against it, but unfortunately he was killed in action by Downor, split in half, or really stabbed through the chest. And as the witches bathed in their glorious victory, Battler fought back to the conversation he had with Dalnor about specifically Nox's commandments and how they're able to be used as a tool, a clutch, you could say, for a reader to view a murder mystery, about how there are clues to this mystery, that there is an answer to all this. It isn't something that's going to come out of left field. It's all going to make sense in the end, since that's the relationship between a viewer and an author, between Bador and Beatrice, that there is a solution to all this. And so Bador thinks. He thinks of everything. He thinks of every single past murder. He thinks of everything, and he gets it. He figures out the truth. He finally, in the end, gets it. Also, someone pointed out that in that moment, Bador's VA was actually told the truth, which is awesome. I love that when they do that in any type of fiction, of like actually telling the actors like what actually happened in order to add more oomph to the voice. It's like really cool. But in that moment, he figures out the truth and he becomes the Endless Sorcerer. And he fights back against Erika and proposes the theory that he himself could have been the culprit within the murders of episode 5. And because his theory is as believable as Erika's theory as Natsuhi's the culprit, it ends in a draw. And therefore a new game board is drawn up, as Bador as the game master and Erika as the detective, which I'm very excited what that means. What episode 6 is going to contain for us and how exactly it's going to look like. But on to some great comments. You guys told me, cleared up specifically about Nox's fifth, in which, I'll just tell you guys what it is. Nox's fifth is basically the Chinamen cannot be the culprit. And you guys cleared up, like, what that exactly meant. Basically, it meant it was an old trope in murder mysteries from the 19th century that the foreigner was the culprit all along because they used a secret technique that none of the other characters knew about in the cast. Like a secret hidden, like, footstep technique that, the culprit used in order to murder the victim and all that. So thank you for the confirmation of clearing that up, because I'm not really a reader of very old-fashioned murder mysteries, like the detective comes upon a crime scene or whatever. I'm not a big reader of those, so thank you for the clarification of Nox's fifth. There was also another great comment comparing Natsuhi's treatment in last episode and Ava's treatment in episode 4, about how they were both set up to be these evil women, that people assumed that they were murderers because of a few scant pieces of evidence here and there, and how people's viewpoints of other people can be warped by single pieces of evidence and things taken out of context and all that. It just shows that Natsuhi and Ava are quite similar in a lot of ways, even though they do not like each other at all. It's a very interesting parallel that I didn't notice that, hey, you guys pointed out for me, which just adds more depth to this story. This already complex, thick novel we have here. Another thing that was clarified, someone clarified that Meta Beatrice is the culprit. It isn't a personification. It isn't a real, personification of the fact that the witch did it. Beatrice is the culprit, just simply disguised as Beatrice and all that. And that goes into my main theory. You guys told me that I am able to figure it out. I do have all the tools I need. I do have all the scenes. I have all the crimes. I can figure out who was it, how they did it, and what their motive is. So I want to say who it is. And it's an old theory of mine that I came up with at the end of the question arcs. I still think it is Maria. Honestly, I feel like that's backed up even more with the fact that someone told me that Beatrice is the culprit. Because who else fits the personality of Beatrice? Because besides, Maria and all that. Because Beatrice does have this childlike innocence to her, doesn't she? She doesn't seem to know what's right from wrong. Plus, she is so cartoonishly evil. You know what I mean? Especially in those first couple of episodes. She's just so, evil for the sake of being, evil. You know what I mean? She's the most classic imagining of a witch you could possibly have, like what a child would think when they think of a witch, which possibly fits within the pure view of Maria. But the thing that's stumping me is, also, I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't been able to go back and review the crime scenes in order to fit my theory of Maria. Unfortunately, I just simply haven't had time. But I eventually want to do that. But the one thing I wanted, that's really important to me specifically is the motive. Why she's doing this. And I still think it is to show Beato something through all these murders. Since we know it isn't for the money, it isn't for pleasure, nor is it for revenge. She is doing this in order to show Beato something. But the problem is I don't know what that is. What is Maria trying to show Beato? Is it a case of what happens to the family when they're put into a desperate situation, and how evil they can, or how vindictive they can be towards each other when they're in that desperate situation? Is it a case like that, or is it a physical thing? Is it something else, or is it trying to remind Beato of the sin he committed 6 years ago? Perhaps it's that, since Beato still doesn't remember what that sin from 6 years ago was that he committed. And if you want a more detailed explanation of why I think it's Maria, go check out the episode after I finished the question arcs, which is, I think, part 41. Part 41, yeah, that's right. So, in part 41, I explain in more detail why I think it is Maria. Whole bunch of stuff I don't want to get into right now, because I don't want to make this a very long intro. But yeah, I still think it is Maria, because there really hasn't been anything to disprove it is Maria. Plus, the motive. Actually, let me just go into the characters here real quick, and why I don't think it's anyone else. So obviously, money is not the motive. So I feel like that takes out pretty much all the parents here, since that's their main motivator. Rosa, Rudolph, Kyrie, Hideroshi, Ava, Natsuri, and Kraus. I feel like that just knocks all of them off in the motive department, since they're not after the gold. They're not after it. So it can't be any of them. Obviously, we know Natsuhi and Kraus are in a tight money situation, but we know for a fact that Natsuhi isn't the culprit due to the Red Truth, and Kraus already has pretty much the succession in the bag. All he needs to do is just wait another year, and he's a very patient man, so I don't think he is there. I don't think he would murder his entire family in order to do that. Now on to the other characters. Kinzo is dead, so no point there. We have Genji here, who I think doesn't need money, and I don't think he's out for revenge either. He's obviously a man who is very indebted to Kinzo, and I don't think he would betray Kinzo at the very end, even after his death. I mean, he's still keeping up the cover-up that Kinzo is dead. He is still helping out the Ushiro Miras. I don't think he would go for the money at this point, since he's been with them for such a long time. I don't think it's Shannon, because from everything we've seen of her, she doesn't seem like a very greedy person. She seems like She kind of views herself as furniture. She simply views herself as a servant, not as furniture at this point. And she doesn't really want to move on at this point in time. She feels like maybe she is like kind of part of the family. She has found a comfortable space within the Wokenjima. I know it's not canon, since canon doesn't have any self-interest. He simply sees himself as furniture. He doesn't see himself as a human at all, so why would he go for the gold? Why would he take revenge on his masters? Doesn't seem to be any of that. I don't think it's Goda either, since he just seems like an employee. He simply wishes to just cook. He doesn't have any self-interest in that. All he wants to do is really suck up to Natsuhi, and that's it. There hasn't been any implications that he wants to do anything else. And I don't think it's Kumasawa either, with her age, obviously. And the fact she's been with the family for so long, and as we saw in episode 1, she understands their points of view, as we saw from both Natsuhi and Ava's. That's how we learned of Natsuhi and Ava's actually situations, was from Kumasawa. She feels pity towards the family, so I don't think she would be the one to be so vindictive against them. I don't think it's Nanjo either, since he is a longtime friend of Kinzo's. I don't think he is the type of person that would murder his entire friend's family for the sake of it, for the sake of money, since he's already into his old age. What's going to help him by this point? Now it's just unto the cousins. Jessica. There hasn't been anything, the only motivator Jessica really has is to try and be with Cannon. But it really isn't the case of the family that's stopping her, it's the fact of Cannon that's stopping her from, being able to love him, since, once again, he views himself as furniture. So I see no point in killing the family. George is interesting. I came up with it's a little thing, side, very small hypothetical, not much evidence towards it. But I'm just going to take what we learned in episode 5 of the man from 19 years ago, right? And I was thinking about that. Who would be the one to fit that description? The man from 19 years ago. Who could possibly be that baby? And I think the only person, or really the only two people that could possibly fit that description would be either Cannon or George. And I feel like it would be more thematically, resonant if it was George. That the reason why Ava hated Natsui so much was she wasn't able to conceive of herself. She was infertile as well, and perhaps the child survived and Kinzo gave the baby to Ava instead, and she raised it up to be George. And George became the man from 19 years ago, and he enacted his crime. Obviously, his main motivator would be revenge, so that doesn't fit, unfortunately. I also thought of the sin from 6 years ago and how that would fit George. I remember this tiny little tidbit of Beato having a crush on Shannon when he was younger, so perhaps it was something akin to that made George pissed off at Beato. But obviously, I really don't believe in that. It's just a little thing I noticed, really, just pointing that out. Obviously, it's not Beato, since he was our main detective from episodes 1 to 4, and therefore the episodes, the detective cannot be the culprit. So that really leaves Maria. And as I've said before, in my lengthy theorization of how Maria is the culprit, she is the one that writes the letters. She is the one that has Beatrice's handwriting. She also has the magic circles within her notebook. She's able to draw them in blood as well. And, actually, in fact, the only time the culprit has ever referred to anybody else in red text or in blood text was Maria. Episode 2, when they went to the chapel. Happy Halloween, Maria. Which, I feel like is a big crew, you know? Maybe it's supposed to, like, throw off people, like, okay, it can't be Maria then, you know? Because first of all, she's a child. And second of all, why would the culprit refer to herself? Obviously. But I feel like because Beatrice and Maria's personalities are so similar to each other. You know, Beatrice is very childlike. She even does the, you know, laugh. Both Maria and Beatrice do that creepy laugh, you know? And sometimes Maria does go into that creepy, like, smile, that creepy thing when she delves into magic. And all that. But the question still is, what does she want to show Bador? What is it exactly that she wants to show Bador? And what is the sin he committed 6 years ago? Against her. Same thing with Angie. Because we know for a fact, Angie committed a sin against Maria because she didn't believe in magic. She didn't join Marie Soler. And I feel like the same thing is true for Bador, because I feel like that would be a nice parallel between the siblings. They both committed a quote-unquote sin against her. But, yeah, I know, of course, that only covers the motive aspect of it. It doesn't cover the who, or the how, of the how done it case, unfortunately. But I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from here. I truly do believe it is Maria. I feel like it fits, like, very nicely. It's just that one thing, the $1 million fucking question. What is Maria trying to show Bador? That's the one thing I don't know what it is. She's trying to show him something. Is it the fact that magic exists? Is it that? Or is it something else? You know? I don't know. But yes, I'm still going to believe that Maria is the culprit. But I think that's enough talking. It's been almost 20 minutes. Let's actually get into episode 6. Dawn of the Golden Witch. Good morning. It is at last time for the curtain to rise on Bador-sama's game. Let's observe the fight from the opposite side of the chessboard. Can Bador-sama succeed in playing the demanding role of the game master? There is no longer any difficulty level. At this point, these are not hints. These are not hints, but a confession. Oh boy. Let's get right into it, shall we? Okay. As I heard from people, episode 6 is very confusing, and its tone is very different, but I'm ready. I'm ready for anything by this point. I am absolutely ready for anything by this point. Always keep thinking. Okay. A beautiful glow shone in from the skylight over the grand cathedral. The place was somehow different from the way it had been during the witch's trial. The decorations had changed. The several pleasantly sparkling white ribbons that adorned it were thin like razors, but they trailed beautifully in the air. Flowers were arranged all over in a way that would make any place look cheerful. It was like how a single drop of impure water can spoil an entire cask of wine. Just the presence of these flowers, those ribbons, and the red carpet that ran down the center of the room made it hard to believe that this was the same place Ushio Mira Natsuhi had been falsely accused of a crime. It's like a wedding here. It had truly become a wedding chapel. What the Okay. These words, spoken by two demons who seemed to be in charge of this gathering, were part of the ceremony for making an oath of love before the eyes of God. The yellow one reminds me of Hong Ming from Toho, with the orange hair and the green hat. Of course, in this wedding celebrated by demons, there was no priest in sight. Instead, there stood the witch who controls miracles. In sickness and in health, indeed. Excuse me? Okay, who the hell is Erica getting married to? Conquered? Damn. The bride standing on a carpeted path was Furudo Erica. The groom's face couldn't be seen. Oh boy. The bride's outfit certainly was a pure white wedding dress. Her veil represented both the white of God's blessings and the white of a demon's cruelty. Oh, another thing before we continue on, I forgot to mention. Another thing that was confirmed last episode that somebody reminded me of in the comments was it was confirmation that Beato was indeed the detective from episodes 1 to 4. And therefore, that means in episode 3, the person who killed him was indeed actually Ava. So that confirms, really confirms that Ava was the second culprit in episode 3. Just wanted to throw that out there. Also, the yellow truth, someone explained to me that the yellow truth is pretty much the God's word. Pretty much the ultimate truth. It isn't red truth or blue truth. It is the ultimate truth that pretty much confirms that Kinzo is fucking dead. Kinzo is dead. There's no way around it. There's nothing else about it. Kinzo is dead, which is pretty funny of Ryukichi just putting his goddamn foot down of saying, guys, Kinzo's dead. All right, guys, shut up about Kinzo. He's dead. But anyway, a great many goat nobles, witches, and demons were gathered for this wedding. If only their heads hadn't been those of goats, it would probably have seemed a very refined crowd worthy of this great cathedral. Mr. Groom. That was a groom. At that point, Berncastle stared straight into the groom's eyes. The groom didn't answer. His eyes were gray. His lips would mutter something from time to time, but no one could tell if the words meant anything. Is this implying I'm the groom? She spoke to the groom in the plural. Of course, there was only one groom. And of course, the gray-eyed groom didn't answer. That'll work. Okay. I feel like this is a very one-sided marriage. The Witch of Miracles sneered with an evil smile that even a demon would shudder to look at. Even that sneer provoked no response from Battler's dim eyes. What the hell happened to him?
人は愛のために生きるのです。すなわち、今日あなた方は生まれてきた意味を、目的を成し遂げた。
This is a very one-sided
今日と
love.
いう日の輝きがどうかお二人を永遠に祝福しますように。
うるさいわ、悪魔ども。次の次第は何よ。
お二人に永遠の愛の制約を求めます。
その次は指輪の交換を。
On Battleware's hand was a ring bearing the seal of the one-winged eagle, proof that he was the territory warlord of this world. What the hell happened to him? And on Erica's finger was a diamond ring that could not be shattered by any miracle. Diamond signified an eternal bond. However, in Greek, the word diamond simply means unbreakable. Diamond is unbreakable? Josuke? Erica wasn't vowing to love Battlewear forever. She just wanted to rule over him as her eternal property. This wedding was being performed for the sole purpose of defiling Battlewear.
ご安心を。あなたを永遠に愛したりなんかしません。だからこの挙式はあなたを征服する儀式です。
Oh, fuck you.
あなたの心は永遠に脱出不可能の密室に閉じ込められ、この私、探偵にして真実の魔女フルドエリカに支配される。あんたの持つ領主の座もその証の指輪も私のものとなる。なんです？
Damn. So I guess it just, it didn't go well for Battlewear, huh? I hope the wedding food's good at least.
出られないですよね、その密室。
It's always damn closed room.
あんたが自分で作った密室なんですから。あんたは永遠にその密室で苦しむんです。私は妻としてあなたのそばに永遠にいて、その苦悶の表情を独り占めします。あなたを永遠に
Bad touch.
私が怪我し尽くしてあげます。
後ろ宮バトラー
Whoa, shit. Well then, that was one hell of an opening, huh? Actually, I can watch this opening since there's no spoilers in it. So, might as well. But interesting. Okay, so Battlewear doesn't seem like Battlewear was able to do anything, huh? Sucked as a game master. He was not built for it. Man, really listening to this OP is like, it's like really good. Also, the visuals here is really actually good. I really never been able to watch any of the OPs with Higurashi, the copyright, but this time around I don't give a shit. So cool. Fucking OPs like that. Man, I should really go back and watch the Higurashi OPs. Like the visual novel ones. Just never did because, spoilers, but hey, at least that one didn't really contain anything. So that's good. The witch of feet are going. Oh boy. All that could be heard was the sound of the wind. A sound of misfortune, bringing sadness and unease to all who heard it. Slowly, I came back to my senses. I finally regained consciousness on top of a bed with a firm mattress. Where was this again? I can't remember where this is, but I can vaguely recall that I must not remain here. Whoa. The room was dimly lit, purple-ass mansion, huh? I love it. There was a light on, but that just made the darkness and eeriness of the room more apparent. There were no curtains over the window, but it was too dark outside to see anything beyond it. If I squinted into that pitch blackness, it felt as though I could see the witch of the forest peeking back at me from the darkness, and I averted my gaze from the window in fear. I can't see or hear it, but I get the feeling that if I leave this room, it'll be bright and warm and someone else will be there for me. I want to get to where everyone else is as soon as I can. Bad memories from when I was very young began to well up. Horrible, harsh memories of when I started dozing off during a family gathering and was put to sleep in some room I didn't know. I remember waking up there, incredibly lonely and sobbing. I must not remain in this room. I just want to get out of here quickly. Whoa, what is this track? Once that thought crossed my mind, I didn't want to stay in the room a second longer than I had to. I'm scared. It's creepy. Where is everyone? I want to get out of here right now. I opened the door, trying to leave the room. A pleasant glow snuck in through the crack of the door. As I'd thought, the corridor was filled with a comforting light. I couldn't actually hear them, but I could sense that far away people were enjoying themselves. I'm sure everyone's gathered in the room across from this one. I've been shut up in this lonely, creepy room all alone. I should go quickly. As soon as I thought this, a merciless metallic sound rang out, and the door refused to open any further. Chain. The chain had been set. I have always hated chain locks. You can open a normal lock just by twisting, but chain locks are built in an annoying way and I couldn't work them easily. So I've hated them ever since I was very young. See, even this chain is causing me trouble, and I just can't get it undone. Why is this happening? I just want to leave this creepy room right away. Just on the other side of this thin door, everything is bathed in a warm light. I can't undo it. I just can't undo this chain. The more desperate I grew, the more that unsettling darkness seemed to be closing in on my back, and the more frightened I became. Then I finally noticed there's something wrong with this chain. Yes, there is a chain, but this isn't a chain lock. This is just a chain stalked into the door, preventing it from opening any further. Oh. In other words, it isn't made to be opened. What the hell is going on? Who'd do something like this, damn it? No matter what I did, no matter how much I struggled, I couldn't pull out the stake or undo the chain or break the mechanism. The door was just a demon's mouth made to trick me into thinking it would open before crushing my hopes. Even so, if only I could just open this door somehow, I could get out into that present corridor. So this must be what Erica referred to as the locked room that Beato is trapped in. This desire forced me to keep my hand glued to the doorknob. But it was useless. Both the chain and the stick were firm, and no matter how much I clattered them about, there was no chance of the door opening any further. Even though I could see the pleasant hallway through the crack, I had no chance of opening the door any further. Maybe someone will come if I yell. Maybe the door can be opened easily from the outside. When I thought this, I tried to call out to someone, but I couldn't make the words come out. I could mouth someone come here, but no voice left my lips. What's going on? Someone come... Why can't I cry out? Help me, help me, help me. The mere fact that I can't say help me out loud is even scarier. If I turn around, the witch gazing into the room from the darkness outside might be inside the room this time, sitting right behind me. I'm frightened. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Someone help me. Someone help me. I can't get out. Can't get out. Let me out of this room. Help me. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Let me out. Let me out. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Fuck, it's getting louder. Yeah, this is a very different beginning from any other episode. Now this is one medieval looking ass room right here. What the hell? Oh, Amakusa? Oh shit. Amakusa ran his finger down my cheek. In an instant, I woke from the doze I'd just been in. I glared at Amakusa for hooking me up in such a creepy way, but he just pretended not to notice. Okay, we're with Angie. Shit, okay, I did not think this at all. What the hell? Where is this? It feels like a parlor in some dignified person's house, but I have no memory of this place at all. Where is this? And why am I... Apparently he hadn't expected me to forget something like that just because I wasn't fully awake yet. For once I agreed with him. Why am I in some parlor that I don't recognize? The sound of the footsteps from the they Amakusa had mentioned. Yeah, this is a very like fantasy ass like room. A lot of lamps too. It had come right up to the opposite side of the door. I could hear conversing voices. Is that a woman? Judging by the coffee and snacks weighed out in front of me, I was the guest here. In that case, I'd better remember why I came here. Or, anyways, who it was I came to visit. Who am I? Ushiro Mira Angie. Who's the man standing behind me? Amakusa Juza. Oh, yeah. Just check out his character descriptor. Wow. Former guard of Ava's and extreme field scoopers to dangerous jobs for little pay. Served at as Angie's bodyguard before, but after he broke Ava's strict order not to talk to Angie countless times, Ava ultimately took a dislike to him and let him go. Angie herself didn't find him all that bad because he was someone she could talk to. GSDF, foreign region, private military companies. This man has traveled them and all, and is skilled in counter sniping and escorting VIPs. Also, have I just never noticed fucking Amakusa's pants? What the fuck, dude? Oh, is that armor? Is that... No, it's just hole in his pants because it matches up with the undershirt he has. Got so many damn holes in his pants. The man who used to be my guard long ago. He's now the bodyguard Okonogi assigned to me. Bastard. In that case, is this after Aunt Ava's death? When I've thrown off my pursuers? On that journey to find out what happened 12 years ago? Yeah, when is this? This has to be after Aunt Ava's death. But Angie died in 1998. Well, we don't know when, but she does die in 1998. Is that how it went? Do I really have a memory like this? Who is it? After a knock, the door opened. I'm God, this could be so many people, or maybe it's a new character. It's possible it's a new character, but... And the person I must have come here to meet entered along with an assistant. Oh, wonderful. Even after seeing her face, I can't remember who she is.
お待たせいたしました。八条東也先生でございます。
Okay, new character. Don't recognize the name. That's a relief. The assistant introduced her to me first. And I finally remembered who she was. She? I thought it was a he.
失礼ながら先生で
What is this? Now, who are you?
私が八条東也です。
Hachicho Toya. Okay. Check out your description. A message bottle forger. She is a mysterious novelist, and the mysteries surrounding her outnumber even those found in her novels. Claiming to have found the truth of Wokenjima, she writes new tales and publishes them on the web as though giving out extra hints. However, I have no memory of meeting her before my trip to Nijima. Interesting. Publishes them on the web as though giving out extra hints?
週刊誌に先生のサイン会の件が載ってましたぜ。サングラスにマスクでがっちりガードした謎の男性作家って触れ込みだったはず。まさか女の先生だったとは。こりゃどういうわけで？
あれは編集部の方に手配していただいた身代わりです。あのサイン会の時、後ろに待機していた海添が私でした。
こりゃ驚いた。先生の作品は読んだことないが、多分あんた本人の方がよっぽどミステリーですぜ。
読者など本を読んでいるふりをしているだけ。作者名とブランドだけで本を読み、読んだつもりでいる。
I mean, that's one point of view. Well, can kind of get that.
彼らには私の本に何が書いてあっても何も読んでなんかいない。
Oh, really?
ただ今、流行りの作品は欠かさず読んでいるとインテリぶるために読んだふりをしているだけ。その程度の者どもにどうして我が身をさらせようか。汚らわしきかな、汚らわしきかな。
なるほど。確かにあなたが八条先生のようですね。
Hachicho. Hachicho. Hachio. Hachio. I feel like I said that right. This person really is eccentric. There's no doubt about it. This is Hachicho Toya herself. Hachijo Toya is a mystery novelist who's become the center of discussion lately. It seems her books themselves have been highly praised, but it's her mysterious debut that's attracted so much attention towards her lately. Last year, she managed to win several different awards for exceptional mystery novels offered by multiple large publishing companies, submitting each of her works under a different pen name. And after that, several highly regarded anonymous works were discovered, one after another to have been stories she had written in the past under false names. And her popularity soared as she herself became more mysterious in her books. Despite all of this, the author herself never appeared in public, and everything about her was wrapped in a veil of secrecy. However, just a few days ago, this author finally made a public appearance for a book signing, showing up with a mask that covered his face and drawing even more public attention. And yet, apparently even that had been a fake. Well, she obviously doesn't regard the spotlight, huh? Given this person's radically unconventional track record, it was hardly a surprise to hear her casually insult her fans like this.
後ろ宮エンジェさんのこともワイドショーでも随分いろいろやってましたから私もよく知っていますよ。
どうせろくな話じゃないわ。
ええ、ろくでもない話ばかりですよ。気分一つで人を雇ったり クビにしたり、何でもお金で解決しようとする無法者の乱暴者だとか。
違いね
でも私はあなたのような頭のいい人は嫌いではない。
You're not like the peasants, the sheeple.
だから会ってくれたんですか？
ええ、伊藤育九郎0576が私八条東也の別のペンネームだと見破ったのはあなただけ。
Very interesting. So we have ourselves a mystery novelist, huh? An author.
実に見事なるかな。
伊藤育九郎0576。
I'm not going to even try to pronounce that.
おかしなハンドルネームだったわ。でも数字に直すと110億1996万576と読む。
Oh shit. 1996, huh? 11,1900,960,576. This massive number is equal to 18 to the 18th power, 8th power. 8 to the 8th. In Japanese, Toya no Hachu. Or in other words, Hachijo Toya.
よくできました。実に見事。
Well, you like your whittles, don't you, miss?
そんなあなただから私も直接会ってみたかったのです。ようこそ人の子を我が邸宅に。
Mansion, huh? Her manner of speaking was extremely condescending, but perhaps because of her arrogant manner, it didn't feel particularly irritating. This person had a sort of majestic grandeur about her, which made that style of speech seem more almost natural. At least, that's how it felt to me. In fact, it felt almost as though this was the manifestation of some noble being, who would have no need to show herself before mere humans under normal circumstances. Huh. I'll be honest with you guys. I've seen her before. I've seen that eyes, I've seen that damn hair. And I feel like this line of text isn't exactly wrong. Since I'm not particularly a fan of hers. I guess this is proof that her mysterious charisma really is nothing to be laughed at. However, I didn't come here to talk to Hachijo Toya, the mystery novelist. I'm interested in... Oh, please, God. This is going to be the worst pronunciation I'm ever going to do. Itoko Kiyu Kuro Regio no Namu. The mysterious web author who only released her works over the internet. Well, damn, this is like... Well, yeah, this is 96. That's pretty ahead of her time, I have to say. Around the Japanese parts of the internet, God damn it. I'm just going to call her Kuro, just for the sake of me, guys. I don't want to embarrass myself even more. Around the Japanese parts of the internet, Kuro is an extremely famous witch hunter. However, she isn't the big opinion reader like Professor Ototsuki. She's one of these message bottle forgers who are always the center of vigorous debates. Message bottle forgers are, as the name suggests, people who forge and post the contents of what purport to be mysterious message bottles detailing the events of the Wokenjima incident. They claim to have discovered a new message bottle and post either a very similar counterfeit story or a new theory with their own interpretation of the truth, all of which are supposedly written by Ushiro Miria. In so doing, they openly take on the name Ushiro Miria, writing up new bizarre tales as if they'd been present themselves and knew the truth. What, like fanfiction? They then send these stories out into the newest sea discovered by humankind, the internet, claiming that it's a third or fourth message bottle. All of the first forgers were either simple pranksters or crooks trying to swindle collectors. Eventually, though, people who claimed to have solved the riddles of the message bottle tales and reached the truth started to appear. and they started creating original works of their own, third and fourth message bottles from Ushio Mira Maria, as though they had moved over to the Whittle Teller's side. These people rewrote the tale of the witch with whatever interpretations they wanted, and every once in a while parts of their theories would gain big followings on the net. Some of these creations grew to be so widely trusted that they were believed to contain some grain of truth. Ooh. The more rigid witch hunters openly despised these people, calling them forgers, counterfeiters, or just witches. Though they claimed to have reached the truth, they refused to tell anyone and created fake message bottles as though testing everyone else. It was no surprise that more straight-laced witch hunters were seriously annoyed by these forgers. However, among those who simply likened to entertain themselves with the occult fantasy of Wokenjima, an extremely small number accepted these creations as literary works, glad of these additions to the mysterious tale. Kuro was the most highly regarded of these forgers.
End of the Golden Witch.
What?
読ませてもらいました。
Okay. Where are we? Okay. We are QCO7. How fucking meta are we getting? Alright. Okay. We're getting fucking meta. Alright. We were already pretty meta before. This is getting to a new fucking level right here.
人の親族をよくも好き放題に殺せるものです。それが言いたいためだけにわざわざここへ？いいえ、違うでしょう。後ろ宮家の最後の末裔よ。
I mean, she has a point. It is pretty fucked up to quite literally create fan fiction of actual people. This is the point on which I said, well, thank God that doesn't happen in the real world, but, nope. It does. It very much does, and it's very sad. In her latest forgery, and she killed off 7 members of my family, at least during the actual story. No, if you can count Alliance and Banquet, the other forgeries she's made before now, then she's killed off most of my family in horrible ways over and over again. Wait. Banquet, Alliance. God damn it, which one were those? I think Banquet was episode 3, if I remember correctly. Alliance was episode 4. Okay. This is okay. Now I can see where people are coming from when they say this is confusing. Okay. Of course, I want to complain. However, all of her works are known for being in both form and level of perfection, the closest tales to those written by Ushio Mira Maria herself. In particular, Kuro's final first forgery, Banquet of the Golden Witch. Son of a bitch. Episode 3. Managed to fit everything, including Ushio Mira Ava's escape to Korodoran. People wondered whether this might be the true story of Wokenjima, and it even made it onto the talk shows. God damn it. The first 2 episodes. Son of a bitch. So I was right. The first 2 message bottles that they found, which contained, quote-unquote, Maria's handwriting, depicted the events of episode 1 and episode 2. So she's the one to write the rest of them? Oh, this just made how the fuck does this story just keep going deeper? Like, I swear to God, like, as soon as I feel like, oh, I'm finally on top of everything, Maria's the culprit, it has to be, we just keep going deeper. we keep, what the fuck? This rabbit hole keeps going deeper. So far, all of these tales have been nothing more than electronic text on the web. Well, yeah. However, people will eventually realize that Kuro is actually Hachicho Toya, When that happens, they'll become the works of that bizarre Hachijo, and no one will think of them as mere fan creations. People will probably start wondering if this might actually be a third message bottle she found and released under the guise of a story she herself wrote. When that happens, these stories will probably seem even more bizarre and credible.
狡猾ですね。どうして？そうしてあなたは自分の義書に神秘性と信憑性を与える。信憑性とは、それを得てあなたの義書は真実に昇華される。
Damn. What if the first 2 episodes are the actual story? I think that's what this is implying here. The first 2 episodes are the true story of Umineko, while the rest of there's been forgeries. I guess that would make more sense. Sure, the second episode contained more magical scenes, but as we kept going deeper and deeper into this, it got more complex, more characters, more fucking just insane. This is fucking, I did not expect this. When I said, like, oh, I could handle anything by this is not what I expected. To basically say that 3 and 4 and 5 are forgeries created by this woman. Okay.
昇華。愚かしい。そんなもの私の作品には必要ありません。
Don't want it to be truth, can be just mere fiction.
あなたの作品は偽書ではなく真実だから。ええ。
Oh.
真実なのですから昇華など不要。
Uh-huh.
あなたはマリアお姉ちゃんじゃない。ましてやあの日の六軒島にも存在しない。なのにどうして真実などとおこがましいことを。
お嬢、頭に血が上りすぎですぜ。
うるさいわね。私のどこがそうだってのよ。
Angie half realized that she let her emotions get the better of her. She let out a sigh and shrugged.
あなたがここへ来た理由は親族を義書の中で何度も殺めた私をなじるためではないでしょ。
Hachicho had been smiling at Angie kindly, but in a condescending manner. Or else like a mother might watch over a very small child. Angie realized this and was unable to suppress her irritation. Apparently, Amakusa could tell that Angie was getting worked up. He joked around with her for a bit so that they could start the conversation over again from the beginning. Huh.
あなたが私に聞きたいのは私の至った真実でしょう。
Yeah, what's your truth?
どうして真実に至ったと確信を。すべての物語を理解したからです。だからどうしてそうだと確信を。太陽が地球の周りを回っていたことはあると思いますか。
Hachijo suddenly started talking about the Potomac theory. Angie was about to tell her not to answer questions with more questions, but she quickly realized what Hachijo meant.
かつて人間は天動説を支持していた。しかし近代、それは否定されることとなる。なら否定された瞬間に太陽は動きを止め、地球がその周りを回り始めたというのだろうか。そんなわけもない。人間が何を信じようと真実は変わらない。ならば今、あなたが私の真実を否定するのは、つまりはそういうこと。
The idea of heliocentralism was proposed by several scholars before Galileo. However, it was hard to objectively prove that theory using the scientific techniques available at the time. Even so, that didn't change what the truth was. And yet it moves.
真実はその立証のいかにかかわらず真実だと。そうです。これより未来、やがて全ての真実が明らかになった時、私がすでに真実に至っていたと遡って人々は気がつくでしょう。
And what is that truth? Apparently, Angie just couldn't stand Hachijo's attitude. She kept getting irritated, and every time Amakusa would joke around until she settled down again. However, there could be no mistake that Hachijo was a genius, and had used her extraordinary intuition to form a most interesting outlook on the events that occurred on that island. That was why Angie had wanted to contact Kuro and hear her views. Still, this meeting truly had been fortunate for Angie. She hadn't been absolutely sure that Kuro was Hachijo Toya. She hadn't thought that the publishing company would really contact the author. And moreover, she hadn't dreamed that the mysterious masked author would grant her an interview under such short notice. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that some of the events leading to this meeting made for nothing short of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. After all, in almost all cases, I'd never be contacted by the publishing company and would leave for Nijima the next day. So a 1 in a million chance, huh? I'd leave for Nijima, then go on to Okajima. And then give Oni-chan a Sakatoru stuffed animal. Yep. Huh? Ooh, why a Sakatoru stuffed animal? Was I fucking right? My memory of the future is all muddled. My head hurts. Hachijo said something about showing Angie something good, rose from the sofa and headed for the study desk. When she turned her back, Amakusa asked Angie, who seemed to be troubled by something, if she was okay.
ねえ、天草。私っていつからここにいるの？
はあ？さっきから様子がおかしいですぜ。何事ですかい？
私、いつからここに座ってるのか記憶がないの。
When does this take place? This takes place after the Golden Land. In episode 4, she has memories of the future. So where is she?
まだ寝ぼけてんですかい？
そうじゃなくて。だって、私は確か大月教授とはアポイントが取れてたけど、伊藤育九郎の件では出版社から返事がなくて、結局この日は一日何もできなかったんじゃなかったっけ？
はあ？
天草はあの大きな黒いバッグを受け取りに行ったんじゃなかったっけ？
This could be a case, as we saw in Higurashi, of Angie gaining memories from another fragment. That's possible. That's right. Just before we left for Nijima, Amakusa and I parted ways just one time. He said something about getting a weapon from an acquaintance of his, and he went to go get that large black bag. Wasn't that today? What am I talking about? I mean, didn't I go to Nijima, meet Captain Kawabata, and inside the bed shop, huh? What?
どうしました？
Inside the bed shop was a Sakatoru stuffed animal. Did my confusion and uncertainty make me sigh out loud? Even though Hachijo's back was to me, she slowly turned around and smiled as though she had peered into my heart.
いいえ、何も。
Huh. Interesting. Strange memories, ones that even I can't understand. I tried to hide my confusion, but for some reason Hachijo had a strange glint in her eyes, as though she could read my mind.
私は何冊もの義書の中で何度もあなたのご親族を蘇らせては殺す。まるで魔女のように。
Yeah. The way you word that seems very particular. Like, it's not really metaphorical in how you say it, Toya.
好きなだけ蘇らせて好きなだけ殺す。無限に。まるでベアトリーチェね。
ええ。だから私はやはりネット上で彼らがそう呼ぶように魔女なのかと思って。
Uh-huh. God, that line, follow everyone else's on the web and think I'm a witch. She took a thickly packed brown envelope out of a locked drawer. It appeared to be filled with the brim with printer paper. Perhaps this was a manuscript for one of her works. The neat letters written with a fountain pen on the envelope spelled out the word Dawn. This episode. There was no forgery by the name of Dawn, which must mean, Angie could tell, this was a new one. Hachijo's newest, unreleased forgery.
Dawn of the Golden Witch.
What the fuck?
すべてを知る私にはすべてが退屈。しかし何も知らぬ無知にそれを読ませ、何がしかの反応を得ることは嫌いではない。
what are you, one of my viewers? I can.
だからあなたに読んでほしい。
新しい無限の魔女としての新作を。
そうです。人の子よ。
Uh-huh.
あなたが憤慨しようとも感嘆しようとも、それは私の病を一時忘れさせる。
Boredom.
もう茶番は終わりにしましょう。あんたは誰？私の記憶にこんな出会いはないわ。
Yes, I did try to contact Hachijo Toya, but in the end I never got a chance to meet her. In other words, all of this is a falsehood.
今度は私は誰の駒？悪いけど、この後ろ宮エンジェ、飼いならせると思ったら大間違いよ。
やはりそなたは面白いかな。
She finally couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. Gradually, the space around them seemed to be filled with a strange purple mist. The room itself seemed to twist and bend. Her figure also twisted, and after something that couldn't be described elapsed, her form changed to become just what she had called herself, a witch.
見事なり。
Yeah, that's the one. That's the sprite I recognize. Now, this is the one I've seen.
よくぞ私を見破った。
Now, who the fuck are you?
私ってつくづく魔女に好かれる性分ね。あんたたちに特徴的などこか人を舐めた口調。すぐに魔女だって分かったわ。
Yeah. The novel was sitting on the sofa was nowhere to be seen. Even Angie's bodyguard, who was supposed to be around at times like this, was gone. There was only a non-human figure relaxing in a large, ornate rocking chair.
面白きかな人の子。愉快なり。それでこそ我が退屈にふさわしい。
こっちは全然愉快じゃないよ。どうして私は生きてるの？
Good point.
私は名前を明かしたルール違反でひどい殺され方をしたと思ってたけど。
Now, what type of witch are you? And once again, yet another witch involved in this. To be honest, I did doubt that those people would just let me go so easily. What kind of farce will I be forced to go along with this time? I really don't care. I'll just do whatever I can within the bounds of the world they gave me, whether I can to help Oni-chan. Of course, I understand. Even if he wins, he'll never come back to me.
でもね、あがくわよ。あの日の私のところへお兄ちゃんを返すためにね。
そう生きり立たずともよい。私がそなたに求める役割は駒ではない。
じゃあ何の用で呼び出したの？まさかあんたの書いたとかいう新しい物語を読めとでも言う気じゃないでしょうね。
その通りだ。そなたに望むのは駒ではない。もとより私は傍観者。あやつらのゲームにちょっかいを出す気など毛頭もなし。
Mere observer.
意味わかんないわ。あんたは私に何を期待してるの？
私のためにベアトリーチェの紡ぐかけらの観測者であれ。
観測者？よくわかんないけどお断りよ。
かつて私はバトルを通してかけらを鑑賞していた。しかし彼がゲームマスターを継承して今観測者としてふさわしくないのだ。
Well, isn't that an interesting thing?
私は心より純粋な気持ちで物語を追っている。その私にとって今のバトラーを通して観測することはさながら推理小説を逆さに読むにも等しい興ざめ。
Well, you do have a point on that.
お兄ちゃんがゲームマスター？何の話をしてるのかさっぱりだわ。
さっぱりだろう。知りたいであろう。私も知りたい。バトラがゲームマスターを継承し紡ぐ物語がどのようなものか。
That is true.
そしてバトラが至ったという真実がどのようなものか、私の自らの思考の旅で追いたいのだ。私は病の深きに考えねば鼓動を続けることさえかなわぬ。
Damn. Shit, she really is a very... I keep saying this. I said it with fucking Remit Delta, Burn Castle. Now this one. Yet another aspect of the audience. You know? It's very interesting.
つまりあんたは新しい絵本を私に朗読してもらいたいってわけ？
Hey, that's what I already do, Angie.
そういう解釈でよい。見返りにそなたもまた自由に思考を旅することができる。そなたとて未だ真相には至っていないはず。続けたいはずだ。真相を知る旅を。
To find the truth in the journey of the mind.
あんたに得をさせる義理がない。
生きがるな。私は時に寛大だが、多くの場合そうではない。
And she hadn't yet reached the truth either. Though she knew that the game was little more than a toy for the amusement of those witches, she wanted it to resume so that she could follow the tale and close in on the king called Truth.
私が真実に至るために物語を追うかもしれないけれど、あんたのために最後まで朗読する義理はないわ。意味はわかる？
Angie was willing to read the story aloud, but she quickly quit at any time that this witch made her mad. She was, in effect, warning the witch not to annoy her.
無論だ。絵本と称したが、私にとっては死に至る病への唯一の薬。
God damn it, I just realized why they call it a picture book. It's also... that's a synonym of visual novel. Visual novel. Picture book is a synonym for fucking visual novel, because that's what a visual novel is. Oh my god.
そなたの買い添えなくして飲むこともできぬもの。 すなわち総理強制だ。
あんたが寝入るまで私に本を朗読しろと。その代わり私にも読むことを許す。そういうことね。
そうだ。
Damn, this really is like me.
引き受けてくれるならばしばしの一時私の朗読者に任ずる。
My reader.
偉そうな役職名だけど、所詮はただの本読みでしょ。
私の朗読者であるということは私の使いであるということ。すなわちそなたへの干渉は私への干渉。私はベアトリーチェの物語の続きを読みたいという唯一の興味を何者にも邪魔されることを許さぬ。そなたをもてあそんだベルンカステルもラムダデルタも、無論ベアトリーチェさえもそなたに対して一切の強制力を持つことは許さない。
This witch, who seemed to have an almost divine quality to her, spoke both quietly and forcefully. There was no threat in her words. However, even so, it was clear that she was on a different level than Berncastle and the other witches, and not at all to be taken lightly. She's a creator. She isn't a voyager. She's the third class of witch. A creator.
本を読ませる代わりに私を保護してくれると。
無論だ。私は朗読を望んでいる。それを邪魔する者は何人であれ許しはしない。私の態度が横柄に感じるならば謝ろう、人の子に。私はこれでもそなたに最大の敬意を持って語りかけている。
みたいね。その魔女らしい口調さえどうやらあんたの中では数百年ぶりに見せた敬意って感じがするわ。
Yeah, probably.
そなたは本を読むとき本によろしくお願いしますと語りかけてから表紙をめくるか。
そういうことよね。理解したわ。
Just by agreeing to have a conversation with Angie, she was showing an incredible amount of respect and willingness to compromise. Angie shrugged, but she also nodded to show her consent.
いいわ。あんたの朗読者を引き受ける。あんたが私に同意を求めた時点で最大の敬意を表したことを理解したわ。
良き理解だ、人の子よ。
私の名はエンジェよ。人の子だかタケノコだか呼ぶのはやめて。
So what's your name?
良いだろう。私が敬意を示すことの証にそなたの名を認めよう。
For her, acknowledging human names was like acknowledging the names of all the leaves scattered across the ground. So her acknowledging Angie's name was a miracle. No, it was immensely good fortune.
これよりそなた後ろ宮エンジェを。
What does Miko mean? Not Miku. Miko. What does that mean? Okay, I guess it's not in here yet.
感激の魔女
There we go.
フェザリーノ・アウグストゥス・アウローラの巫女にして朗読者に任ずる。
That's an interesting title. Witch of Theater going. Feathering Augustus Aurora. FAA. Okay, but I'm curious about what Miko means. Miko is often translated as Shrine Maiden. That's right, Miko did sound familiar. Traditionally dressed in white and red, Miko acts as assistants at Shinto shrines, in addition to helping out with the day-to-day running of the shrine, including cleansing the premises and selling charms and fortunes. Miko also performs ceremonial dances and assists priests in Shinto rituals and performances.
そなたが朗読を終えるまでそなたの朗読を妨げようとするすべての者に災いを与える。
When the witch of feathering? Yeah, it is literally just Featherine, spoke this, Angie was wrapped in a bright light. Angie didn't feel any particular change herself, but she definitely had been given something that only non-humans could sense. It signified that from this point forward, Angie would be the Witch of Feathergorin's subject. That didn't mean that Angie would gain some sort of special power, but at the very least, it would probably meant that anyone wanting to cause her harm would first have to take on Featherine herself.
あんたの名前、随分と長いのね。ローマの偉人みたい。なんと呼べば？
親しくない者はアウグストゥス・アウローラと呼ぶ。
Augustus Aurora.
私に敬意を示してくれたあんたに、私も敬意を示して。
It's interesting. Rema Delta is the Greek symbols, or was it Roman? Not Greek. Greek symbols. Berncastle was a type of German wine. Now we have Featherine, Augustus. Augustus is a German name, if I remember. Aurora is, well, the only thing I can come up with is Aurora Borealis, obviously. Interesting. Featherine.
フェザリーヌと呼ぶの。問題は？
ない。病んだこの身には名を呼ばれることさえ噛みしめがいのある優越だ。人の子よ。
エンジェよ、私の名前。
Wonder what that medal is for, Featherine.
そういうやりとりさえも心地よきかな。
Also, what's with the horns?
エンジェ、我が巫女よ。
Angie accepted her role. She would observe this story with the Witch of Feathergorin. The curtain was rising on the sixth tale. Interesting. The Witch of Feathergorin, eh? Feathering. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. At one time, only Beato and her fellow witches had gathered in the smoking room to chat. Now, however, an unusually large number of people were present.
バトラは一体どういうゲームを見せてくれるのかしらね。
それが退屈を忘れさせ、壊しがいあるものなら何でも歓迎よ。
お任せください、我が主。必ずや主に望まれる結果となるよう最善を尽くします。
ええ、そうしてね。前回のゲームではおかしな表情ばかり見せちゃったから頬が歪んで変なシワにならないか不安だ。
そんなことはありません。どんなおシワができようとも我が主の美貌は完璧です。
Yeah, keep sucking up to her.
ベルンがこんなにも楽しそうなんてね。本当にベアトのゲーム版は素晴らしいわ。そのゲーム版の主がもはや不在なのは悲しいことです。虎は死んで川を残す。ベアトも死んでゲームを残したわ。
チェスは残ってもその作者の名は残ってないわね。
あ、本当だ。ゲームの作者って不憫ね。それにしてもバトルさんは随分待たせるじゃないですか。第6のゲームの準備まだ終わらないんですか？ガートルード、バトラ教の準備はいかがです？
近景謹んで申し上げる。もうじきのことと知りたまえと奉る者なり。
待たせるってことはそれだけ自信作なんでしょうよ。前回我が主の前であれだけの恥をかかされたんです。是が非でも打ち破ってみせます。特にあんた二度と無様を見せないでくださいよ。
不
奮起して臨むものなりよ。
The previous game master, Delta, had confirmed that Battle understood everything about Beato's game. However, in order to prove it, Battle would have to run this game by himself and carry it through to completion. In other words, if Erica could crush this game of Battlers, she would, in effect, wipe away the dishonor of that last game. Though Erica was chomping at the bit to get started, it was taking Battler quite some time to show himself. At that time, a swarm of gold butterflies popped into existence and took human form. From that shape of that familiar dress, everyone immediately realized who it was. Oh.
おや、ベアトリーチェさんじゃないですか。
Is this the Peace Beatrice, or is this Meta Beatrice?
てっきり前回死んで消えたとばかり。
消えたのはプレイヤーのベアトよ。こいつは駒でしょ、バトル。
駒ではあってもご本人と変わりありません。
That is true. Beatrice did disappear when Battler whirled the truth. That's true. Forgot about that. Beatrice gave an elegant courtesy as she appeared. This humble entrance was so vastly different from her usual high-pitched laugh that it made the long-winded start of the sixth game feel even more ominous than it otherwise would have.
お父様はもうじきお越しになられます。
Father.
どうかもうしばらくのお時間をお許しください。
お父様、何それ？それが今回の思考？
Not only had Beato started talking in an unusually polite manner, she had also used the word father, presumably referring to Battler. That's an interesting way to spin it, Battler. For an instant, everyone was stunned into silence, but they quickly realized that this was setting up some kind of theme, and they grinned. Okay. Beato wasn't the type who could keep up this kind of act for long. It would probably fall apart in a few seconds, leaving her cackling rudely at everyone. Erica, who was itching for a fight, went for Beato almost at once.
まさか無能のバトラさんがあなたのゲームの真相に至るなんてね。
お父様なればこそ深淵を理解されたのでしょう。さすがだと思います。
しかし、あんたもラッキーです。バトラがゲームマスターになれなかったら二度と復活できなかったんですよ。まったく悪運が強いと言いますか。
悪運？
まあいずれにせよ、前回の借りはきっちり返させてもらいますよ。
あんたというバトラの妄想幻想、きっちり消し去って忘却の深淵に叩き落としてやりますから。私もみすみすやられるわけには参りません。お手柔らかによろしくお願いいたします。
I, Watashi, huh? By this point, everyone realized that something weird was going on. There was no doubt that the face, the dress, and the hair were all Beatrice's. However, her expression was different. Even though she had Beato's face, Beato would never show anyone an expression like that. Yeah, her expression has been weird. There was a heavy silence. Delta spoke for everyone there. At first, Beato had worn a smiling yet blank expression. However, when she realized that the mood had gone suddenly stiff, her expression finally darkened, and she hung her head.
あんた、誰です？ベアトリーチェ教とお見受けしていますが、違うのですか？
Even Davenor was forced to ask, despite the rudeness of the question. That was how much this woman, who appeared to be Beato, was not.
皆さんの期待されるベアトリーチェとは
Even her voice is very soft.
違うでしょうか。
あんた何言ってんの？まさかとは思いますが、記憶喪失とかなんとか言い出すんじゃないでしょうね。
私はまだ生まれたばかりですので記憶は何もありません。ですが皆さんの期待されるベアトリーチェになれるよういろいろと勉強を。
That voice. Why does that voice seem familiar?
ベアト、部屋にいるように言ったはずだ。
Whoa. Badwar's voice came out of nowhere. But his tone was very slightly cold. Beato's expression looked like that of a young girl being scolded. Caped Bador. With a swirl of gold butterflies, Bador appeared. His dignified bearing and appearance were fitting for the lore of this game. However, his expression was gloomy, and his gaze was directed at Beato.
部屋に戻れ。ここはお前のいる場所でない。
私は少しでもお父様のお役に立ちたくて。
部屋へ戻れ。
He spoke both softly and forcefully. Bador didn't leave her any room for debate. Beato hung her head and curtsied as she prepared to leave the room.
それから。
はい、お父様。
俺の名はバトルだ。二度と他の呼び方をするな。
Ooh.
はい。
Beato melted into a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. This was the first part of the tale of Bador as the Game Master. The witches had all assumed that he'd come forward with some flashy, big developments, so this was all completely unexpected to them. Their mouths are still hanging open.
変わった趣向ね。
失礼した。今のは忘れてほしい。
Huh.
うまいこと言って、それも作戦のうちですか？
Why make Beato called Bador father?
また北風対応作戦みたいに印象操作して何かを煙に巻こうって魂胆でしょう。何かあったのですか？
気にするな。お前たちには関係のないことだ。
そうなら関係ないってことだわ。さあバトラー、早く新しいゲームを始めてちょうだい。もう待たされすぎちゃって退屈してたんだから。
Wait, was the person who was locked up in the room not Bador but Beatrice? What if that was it?
ああ。第6のゲームを始めよう。エリカ、そしてベルンカステル。これが俺の物語である。俺がベアトの真相に至ったことの証明だ。ラムダデルタ、それを仙台ゲームマスターとして見届けてくれ。
楽しみにしてるわ。タイトルは？
ドン、黄金の魔女の夜明けだ。
すぐに沈む冬の太陽だけれどね。もちろんです、我が主。すぐに引きずり下ろしてご覧に入れます。タイトルだけはグッドです。そこだけは褒めましょう、バトラさん。
気に入ってもらえてよかった。では始めよう。これより第6のゲームを開始する。
Bador solemnly announced the start of the game. Compared to his fired up attitude at the end of the previous game, where he and Erica had sworn to settle everything next time, he was extremely quiet now. Yeah, that is... he's a lot more... solemn. Yeah, that's the word for it. Huh. What the hell does this mean?
エンジェ、ベアトの様子があまりにこれまでと違うな。
私も驚いてるわ。何が何だかさっぱりよ。それ以前になんでベアトが蘇ってるのかさっぱりだわ。さっき読ませてもらったけど、前回の物語の最後でお兄ちゃんが真相にたどり着く直前に死んで消え去ったんじゃなかったの？
この世界での死は2つある。1つは駒としてゲーム版より取り除かれること。これはゲームにおける死でしかなく、仕切り直せば何度でも蘇る命だ。
だから魔女たちはその命を奪うことにあまりに無慈悲なわけよね。
To the Witch players, the wives of those characters who appear on the game board are no different from pieces on the chessboard that take other pieces and get taken. Also, let me just remind you, you guys know, God, there was a rant from like a while ago, me talking about the different wares to this game. We just added another fucking ware to this. Now we got Angie and Feathering reading this tale as Rabbit Delta, Birdcastle, and Bador read their game board, and then we have the game board itself. And we finally, last we have the final ware, which is me discussing this. We just added another fucking ware to this. God damn. After all, these pieces will be set up again when the next game starts.
マリアにおける作太郎がその駒の最たるものであっただろう。
作太郎がお姉ちゃんの駒？
Yes, that makes sense. In the game board that represents the inside of Oni-chan's head, Sakotaru certainly does exist, and is a piece that always stays by her side. Though he is nothing more than a stuffed animal in the real world. On Oni-chan's game board, he is no less of a piece than any other.
でも、どうかしら。魔女のゲームの駒なら簡単に生き返らせることができるんでしょ？でも、お姉ちゃんの世界では作太郎は蘇ることができなかった。
Because she believed he was dead.
世界でたった一つのぬいぐるみというよりしろが失われたからだ。
Yeah.
だから駒の存在条件が崩れ、マリアのゲーム版では復活することができなかった。そなたがその存在条件を再び満たしてやったからこそ、作太郎はゲーム版に蘇ることができたのではないか。
Yep.
確かに。
Maria Oni-chan was only unable to revive him because she had lost a stuffed animal that was his vessel. If, like the rest of my family in Beato's game board, she hadn't needed a vessel for him, she would have been able to revive him as often as she wanted.
そうね。確かに作太郎はお姉ちゃんの駒かもしれないわ。少なくともよりしろが無事である限り何度でも蘇れる存在だわ。
そう。よりしろが無事である限り何度でも蘇ることができる。
It's a vessel, huh?
それが駒の命というものだ。
それがこの世界での死における一つ目。もう一つは
ゲーム版の外の存在の死だ。作太郎の話で続けるなら、この場合はマリアの死だ。
駒じゃなく本当のお姉ちゃんの死ね。
死だけではない。興味や関心の喪失でも同じだ。マリアがぬいぐるみ遊びを卒業すれば、ゲームのプレイヤーとしてのマリアは死ぬ。さながらテレビに飽きてスイッチを切るかのように簡単にあっさりと。
Interesting. Okay.
なるほど。つまりプレイヤーとしてのベアトは前回までのゲームで勝利を完全に諦めたので死んで消え去ったわけね。 ならつまりベアトが再びお兄ちゃんに勝てるつもりになって戻ってきたら生き返るってことだわ。
理屈ではそうだ。
Okay.
人も魔女も神さえも興味と関心を失えばいつでも死ねる。
Losing interest, huh? Losing desires. Kind of reminds me of both Dungeon Meshi and Dark Souls. You know, how in Dark Souls, people would turn into hollow because they lose interest in, you know, living. In Dungeon Meshi, it's desires that the demon feast on. It's interesting, that theme.
そしてそれを取り戻せばいつでもよみがえれる。しかし神の世界には時間の概念がないからいつよみがえるも自在だが、矢のごとく時が過ぎ去る人の世ではそれは容易ではないな。
そうね。一日のずる休みならともかく3日もサボると学校に行くのがものすごく億劫になるわ。
Yeah.
それが1ヶ月、1年、10年、それこそ魔女の世界のように1000年にも及んだら。
なるほど。ずる休みもそれだけになればもはや社会における死ね。それだけの長い間死んでいたら社会的な遅れを取り戻せないだけじゃなく当時のモチベーションだって絶対に蘇らないわ。それはつまり命があっても一度死んだのと同じことだわ。二度と元の自分には戻れない。蘇れない。
ベアとは勝てる道理も希望も全て失った。それを知りつつ気づかぬふりをし、あれだけのゲームを戦ってきたのだ。だからもうベアとは戻らない。彼女の希望はついえた。気を取り直して再び戦う気力の全てをもう費やしている。だからあのベアトリーチが蘇ることは
Wow. That Beatrice. That Beato, who just sat around the whole time with empty eyes in the 5th game, must have been her corpse. She managed to remain on the game board despite it all, but then even that corpse was wiped away. Wow. Huh. If Beato had been Game Master at that time instead of Lima Delta, the game board itself would have vanished at that moment and everything would have ended. Come to think of it, Beato started to lose the will to fight back near the end of the 4th game. Yeah. When Beato loses her will to fight, the world of this game disappears. However, the witches wanted to keep playing in this game board world, so Lima Delta bound Beato in place with that cursed shackle. She used that shackle to fix the game board in place and prevent it from disappearing. Even if Beato did lose the will to fight, in chess this would be the equivalent of removing the set time limit for each turn, making it endless. However, simply having the game endlessly pause on Beato's turn would cause the witches to die from their illness of boredom. That's why Lima Delta took the position of the Game Master. Starting then, Beato's existence was no longer one of the conditions necessary for the game's existence. That's probably why the shackles binding her to the game board were released. And that explains why she disappeared in the 5th game. Okay, so interesting. So basically, that was her corpse. Because she lost interest in it, she died the first time, and simply her body just disappeared at the end when she managed to hold Battler's hand. Okay.
お兄ちゃんはベアトに真相にたどり着いたことを教えるには一つゲームが遅かったということね。
Yep.
第5のゲームなどラムダデルタの慈悲だ。バトラの絶対に真相にたどり着きたいという信念に絶対の魔女が慈悲を示しただけのこと。
何が慈悲よ。ただの魔女たちの暇つぶしの気まぐれじゃない。話を戻すわ。 じゃあ、あのおかしなベアトはプレイヤーのベアトじゃないってことなの？
Yeah, this is Peace Beato.
駒のベアトということだわ。
そうだ。だったら誰もがよく知るベアトになるはず。バトラもそういうベアトを望んだはず。
ぬいぐるみじゃ嫌だったってこと？
When playing with dolls, one can project the personality they most desire into a doll. However, since you are acting out their part, nothing unexpected can ever happen. You cannot hope for any unanticipated happiness. In the human world, there's nothing so boring as a pre-established harmony. That's why, though a doll can become a person's best friend in the world, people eventually get bored and outgrow them. The Oni-chan only wants the real Beato. He couldn't bear having a doll that only acted like Beato.
バトラの駒として生み出されたベアトはバトラの望む通りに動くだろう。
Yeah. And I guess Battler's wish is to call him father.
駒なんだから当然だわ。プレイヤーの指す通りに動く。
Interesting.
そしてそれ以外では一切動かない。お兄ちゃんが何を望んでるのかはわかるわ。じゃあこのおかしなベアトは何者なの？
バトラはベアトを本当の意味で蘇らそうとしているのかもしれない。
Like, quite literally making her, like, start from zero.
人の子らの諦めきれぬ夢だ。
あんたがさっき赤を使ってそれはないと否定したわ。
あのベアトが蘇ることは決してない。しかしもう一度ベアトを生み出すことは不可能ではないということだ。忘れたか？第一のゲームの最後でベルンカステル自らがベアトの正体を語ったはず。
思い出したわ。ルールが具現化した存在みたいなこと言ってた。
Yeah.
そのルールと情報が練り上げられ、最終的にあのベアトリーチェという魔女が形作られたのだ。それを再びなぞれば同じベアトリーチェをもう一度生み出し、それをもって復活と呼ぶこともできない。
つまりあのおかしなベアトはさながらベアトの卵あるいはヒナってところね。
そう解釈するのが妥当である。すなわちこのベアトこそがあのベアトへ至るヒナなのだ。
それはつまりこの純情可憐な子がやがてはあのひねくれてイカれた魔女に成長するってことね。
Yeah. In other words, that Beato is a baby version of the Beato we all know. So, just like how no person is born evil, the newborn Beato isn't evil either. Even though she really is a different person if you measure her by her roots, or perhaps her soul, then maybe you could really call this a resurrection. However, this reality can't possibly be easy to accept. Though she may technically be Beato herself, she is also without a doubt a different person. I mean, yeah, it's the whole argument of like, can you take the same person and put them in two different environments? Will they turn out the same? I don't think so. You know? If you take the exact same person, same DNA, same everything, same name, everything, but you just put them in two different environments, they may turn out to be different people. So this is interesting. This is actually very interesting, huh? In that way she acts would make anyone feel as though something's out of place.
退屈しない。そなたの朗読は楽しい。
あんたの朗読が必要なのか疑わしいわ。
You can just read yourself, damn it.
あんたはもうすでに全てを知っているように見える。
そなたと会話をしているからその思考に至るだけだ。我が思考は八百万を束ねてくれる。人の子にはまるでそう見えるだけに過ぎぬ。されどそなたがいなければ思考する力さえないか弱き病人に過ぎぬ。
You need someone else to converse about, huh?
最初からそういえばもっと素直に朗読を引き受けてやったのに。
私の機嫌が良くなっただけのこと。浮かれるな。私はお前の命などしおり代わりに挟んだまま放出する木の葉よりも軽んじているぞ。
Well, you just lost some stars from your board, Feathering.
続きを読んでください。お願いします。って解釈するわ。オッケー。
退屈しない。そなたは巫女として優秀だ。
Featherine walked back in her rocking chair and looked up at the ceiling, laughing as though the conversation itself was pleasant for her. Angie was slowly figuring out how to deal with this strange witch. This person was also bored. It's not uncommon for a sick person who's bored from being bedridden for a long time to start acting rebellious. On the other hand, they can also get a little bored of being treated kindly all the time. She may want to be shown respect for her superiority, but it's probably more interesting for her when she's spoken to rudely. What a coincidence. That's exactly how I used to be.
とにかく第4のゲームでベアトとお兄ちゃんに何か確執があったことは間違いないの。このベアトを知ることは真相に至る鍵の一つになりうるわ。
そうであろう。私も興味を持った。彼女の物語も合わせて読むのだ。
はいはい、仰せのままに我が主。
When Angie raised her hands like a conductor, the bookshelves in this bizarre study responded. Once again, several books floated out and began to swirl around Angie. The study. Kinzo studies the room belonging to the master in the human world. So the study in the world of non-humans belonged to the master of the game board, and was a place where he could look down upon the humans. Bad word. Therefore, one could hardly be blamed for mistaking the imposing, bewobed man in the center of the study for Kinzo, if only for a second. But it wasn't Kinzo. This was Battler, the one who had taken up the position of Game Master. Isn't it funny? Isn't it very funny? Now with the cape, now with the same red shirt and white outfit, Battler is becoming more and more like Kinzo. Hell, take it one step further, he is trying to recreate Beato. You know who else tried to do that? Who tried to revive her? Fucking Kinzo. Oh, what the fuck does it mean? Oh my god. Becoming the new territory ward of this world. Around Badwar was a swirl of glowing fragments sparkling like the night sky. And on the floor appeared to be a red magic circle. To an outsider, it would seem to be nothing more than an incomprehensible geometric shape. But to Badwar, who stood at its center, it was the outline for a new tale. A new line grew across the magic circle, following Badwar's gaze. Then, at the instant it connected with a complicated symbol, the entire magic circle flashed brightly.
This, どうだ?
見事です、親方様。第6のゲームの完成でございます。
As Battler wiped his forehead and finally relaxed, Genji, who was standing behind him and watching over his every move, nodded deeply in response.
俺はゲームマスターってのはもっと好き勝手に物語を作っているものとばかり思っていたが
Well, you gotta make it make sense.
想像以上に骨が折れるなこれは
複数の物語を描きその表裏を合わせねばなりませんそれにしても初めてとは思えない見事なお手並みでしたエリカ様もきっとこのゲームならご満足いただけるでしょう
あの探偵殿の好みに合うといいんだがなしかしベアトを純粋に尊敬するぜよくあんなややこしい物語をあっさりと作ってみせたもんだ
You damn right. Making stories is hard, man.
あっさりとではありませんベアトリーチェ様も深く深く悩み物語を生み出しては矛盾に悩み常にロジックエラーと戦われておりました
ロジックエラー
物語の表裏が合わぬこと矛盾することでございます、これが生じるとロジックエラーと呼ばれる致命的な反則手となり即座にゲーム版は破綻崩壊いたします魔女側が犯せる最大最悪のミスです
Yeah.
ベアトのゲームも何度かそれに抵触しそうになったのか
ゲームを生み出す際には常にそれと戦われておりました特にバトラ様が手強くなられてからは相当の苦労をなさっていたようです
今回の俺のこのゲーム、ベアトに見せても恥ずかしくない敵かな
はいそれはもちろんでございます
ベアトまだ目を覚まさないのかルールの擬人化から体を蘇生してもうだいぶになるはずだまだ目覚めないのか
After remaining silent for a while longer, Genji answered.
3日ほど前にお目覚めになっております
Ooh.
バトラ様が第6のゲームの設計に集中されておりましたのでお知らせを控えておりました申し訳ございません
そうだったかあいつめだいぶ長いこと寝てたから寝ぼけてやがったに違いないあいつにぜひ俺のゲームを見てもらいたかったんだいやあいつに俺はゲームを見せなきゃならないんだ俺が全てを理解したことをあいつに教えなきゃならない
Bador's face broke into a smile. There was no trace in this expression of the hatred they had once felt towards Beato for murdering his family.
ある意味これが第5のゲーム最後の謎だったわ
そうだバトラは真相に至ると同時にベアトに対する心象が大きく変わった
Also, what's up with your fucking right arm feather? And I mean, it's just really sticking out there.
それはつまりやはりお兄ちゃんとベアトには何かの関係があってそれを彼が防出していたと考えるのが適当なの
However, Bador suspected this in the fourth game and asked Beato about it. Yeah, the sin from 6 years ago. According to the tale, this was denied by the Red Truth. 6 years ago, no person called Beatrice existed for Bador.
6年前にベアトが存在しなかったとも受け取れるし6年前にはバトラと縁がなかったとも受け取れる、しかしいずれにせよバトラはその後6年間六軒島には訪れない
ベアトリーチェとお兄ちゃんはこの1986年10月4日が初対面のはず。なのにどうしてすでに確執があるの？
Yeah, what exactly was it?
さっぱり意味がわからないわ。
But once again, the motive isn't revenge, money, or pleasure. So it isn't... The sin from 6 years ago, it wasn't exactly something that, like... That would call... Like, revenge is taking vengeance on somebody else for doing something wrong to you. So it can't be that. So whatever that sin was, what exactly was it?
第4のゲームでベアトがバトラに問いかけた後ろ宮バトラの罪に何かの鍵があろうな。その結果がベアトリーチェという存在なのかもしれない。
That caused Beatrice to be born.
その結果、お兄ちゃんの罪の結果がベアト。
That almost sounds as though Oni-chan created the witch called Beatrice himself. I wonder...
ベアトリーチェとはバトラの駒のようだね。
Whoa.
6年前のバトラの罪、その罪で人が死ぬ。殺すのはベアトリーチェ。全てが6年前のバトラの罪から連綿と続くと考えるなら、ベアトリーチェを生み出したのはバトラ自身。
You know what? Yeah, I was thinking this to myself before I started the episode of Battle War Sin. And how it kind of, like, I kind of related to Shannon's story with Higurashi. Spoilers for Higurashi, by the way. You know how in episode 2 of Higurashi, Kechi gives the teddy bear to Rena instead of Leon, and Leon then goes on to complain about it to Shion, and Shion then remembers, you know, memories of Satoshi, and which causes her to spiral downwards and kill every head of the families, right? What if it's a situation similar to this? Like, Battle War did something so inconsequential that created Beatrice. I mean, how Shen claimed that she was being taken over by the demon, right? Dressed up as Mion, obviously. So I wonder if it's something similar to that. I guess that could connect to my theory of Beatrice being, like, kind of the other side of Maria.
まるでバトラの駒のようだと思った。
Yeah, I did realize, like, back then that Battle War Sin, along with Rosa whipping up Sakatoru, along with Angie not believing in Maria, led to the creation of Beatrice within Maria's heart.
意味わかんないな。お兄ちゃんが何かの罪を犯したとしても、少なくとも殺人なんかよりよっぽど軽い何かだわ。
Yeah, it's something inconsequential because he doesn't remember it.
それに対する仕返しがこの大量殺人なのだとしたら、あまりにお兄ちゃんの罪と割りが合わない。ベアトは親族たちを皆殺しにした。お父さんもお母さんもお兄ちゃんもみんなそれに見合う罪がお兄ちゃんにあったなんて信じられるわけがない。
罪は測る人間によって重さが異なる。バトラにとって防止できる程度の罪でも、ベアトにとっては6年を経て一族を皆殺しにするほどの恨みを持つに値するものだったのかもしれない。
That's true.
まあ、私もそれはあまりに釣り合わぬと思うし、そして何よりそんな相手だったら、真相を知ったとはいえ、バトラがあれだけ親身になるとは到底思えない。
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the hell is her motive? What is the motive? Plus, Battle War doesn't hate her. It isn't revenge. What the fuck is it then? Featherine's observation was an interesting one. In a past game, Beato clearly said that Oni-chan's sin 6 years ago was the cause of this 2-day tragedy. I still don't know what kind of sin that was. However, he figured out what it was at the end of the 5th game, and he even apologized to Beato. Even though she was the witch who had massacred his entire family in retaliation for his sin of 6 years previous, Battleware apologized to her. Of course, it was the player Battleware who apologized, not the Peace Battleware whose family had been murdered over and over again. But even so, Battleware must have remembered something at the end of the last game that made him feel like apologizing.
その6年前の嘘、これまでの物語のどこかにそれが隠されていたとでも言うのかしら。
私はすでにある仮説を立てている。
え？聞かせてよ。
まだ話せぬ。
Of course.
もうしばらく私だけ答えを知っているかのような優越を楽しむことにする。
Yeah, okay, Feather, and you really are my fucking viewers.
続き読まないわよ。
それは困る。しばし耐え、もう少し続きを読め。私の仮説もまだ想像の域を出ぬ。確信を持てたらその時話すこととしよ
う。はいはい、我が主。私だって続きを知りたいわ。
Just what kind of connection do Oni-chan and Beatrice have with each other? Understanding that will probably give me a massive clue towards finding the truth of this world. After all, because he remembered that, he was able to reach the truth. 6 years ago, 6 years ago. What the hell is it? Fuck.
ベアトリーチェ。
親方様、ようこそお越しを。ベアトリーチェ様がお待ちでございます。どうぞこちらへ。
This place was a villa set aside for Beatrice's use. It was a sacred site for her only, built so that she could spend her days without being affected by the outside world. Not... Corridoran, yes. My heart began to race. I'm so glad that she was able to revive and that everything's okay. Beato is a personification of the wolves, so even though she was destroyed once, it's possible for her to be reborn again. Beato had quickly succeeded in reviving Beato's body, but he had trouble summoning her soul back. However, during the time he'd spent immense in the creation of the 6th game, she had woken up. And this had happened 3 days ago. Beato had let himself be led into the dining hall. The dining hall had been set up for his and Beato's use. It existed so that they could enjoy some black tea while having conversations that were only possible now that he had reached all of the truth. I want to tell her. I want to tell Beato that I found the truth. Beato couldn't hold back his excitement over this miracle he'd been granted. The miracle of Beato waiting for him in the dining hall to hear what he had to say.
ベアトリーチェはどうなんだ。変わりないか。元気そうか。
ええ、それはもうお元気でいらっしゃいます。親方様がおいでになるのをずっとお待ちでいらっしゃいましたとも。
食堂にいるのか？飯でも食ってるのか？ああ、いいさ。何でも構わない。
驚きますよ。
ベアトリーチェ。
When he swung open the doors to the dining hall, Beato was greeted by a wonderful sight. Though the food laid out on the table wasn't particularly sensational, it was arranged beautifully, and a champagne bottle stood there waiting. Then, the person clad in that familiar dress with the beautiful golden hair bowed deeply in greeting.
ベアトリーチェ。
私に姿を与えてくださり、誠にありがとうございます。
Just got a character update. Let's see here. What does see here indeed? A new witch reborn from the wolves. She has not lived 1,000 years, and her behavior is vastly different from how it once was. She is a witch who does not even know how to use magic. However, she has no fear of magic circles or spider webs. It is almost as though she is just a human. She adores Beato and considers it her purpose to devote herself to him. Interesting. Beato rushed up to Beato and hugged her tightly, just to make sure her body wasn't just mist or illusion.
俺はお前の謎をちゃんと解いたぞ。なのにそれを伝える前に消えちまいやがって。
私はここにいます。消えたりなんかしません。
やめろよ、そんな喋り方。恩を着せるつもりなんか全然ない。とにかくお前に謝りたい。そして語らいたい。何から先に口にすればいいかさえわからない。
私がお父様に謝られることなど何もありません。私はただお父様のお役に立てればそれで幸せなのです。
ベアト。
Okay, so this is before the scene in the smoking room.
ベアトリーチェはお父様のために生まれてきました。どうかあなたの力にならせてください。そしてお父様、第6のゲームの完成、誠におめでとうございます。
It isn't her. She may ever face everything, but it isn't her. It is like feathering, explained like a doll. With pretty much Bador's impression of Beatrice, or what he wants Beatrice to be. Or really, I guess it's a combination of that and plus the rule of there must be a Beatrice as well, who's just been born.
だからそんな喋り方やめろって。
It's like the end of it. It's the Demon Dice chapter in Higurashi when Rika goes to the other world. She doesn't recognize any of the club members because they haven't had the exact same experience as she has. It's kind of that in respect of, in this universe, a person is made up of their I guess this is also applies to reality as well. A person is made up of their experiences, both the ups and the downs, obviously, to make them who they are. And just like with Rika in the Demon Dice chapter, in that parallel fragment, she didn't like it. And here with Beatrice, it isn't her. It is simply the birth of a new Beatrice. But she doesn't have the experience that the old Beatrice had. And I don't think you can resurrect someone like that. You can't have the exact same experience.
うさんくさくてたまらねえぜ。
この喋り方ではお気に召しませんか？部長法をどうかお許しください。
お気に召しませんかってことはねえが、らしくねえぜ。やっぱお前はいつもの口調がぴったりだ。
Beato smiled vaguely. To Beato, it probably looked as though they were both smiling at the unusual way she was talking. However, Beato's smile literally was vague and uncertain. After all, she didn't know how she was supposed to talk.
それよりベアト、一体これは何の冗談だってんだ？まさか 大ベアトリーチェ様自らが手料理を作ったってのか？
第6のゲームが完成されましたと聞き、ささやかですがねぎらいの席が設けられないかと思いまして。
ベアトリーチェ様がそれはもう大層頑張られてお作りになられたんですよ。私は一切手伝っておりませんとも。
The food set on the table really was modest and inexpertly made. You could tell by looking at it, Beato, who wasn't particularly skilled with cooking, had given it her all. However, signs of discomfort and irritation were beginning to appear in Badwar's face.
これはどういうことだ？
ですからベアトリーチェ様が親方様をねぎらおうと。
Sweat was starting to show up on Kumasawa's forehead. She was also feeling uneasy. When he noticed, Badwar realized that it wasn't just his imagination. Beato turned her back to Badwar and stuck a corkscrew into the champagne bottle. Then she showed it to Badwar.
お父様、第6のゲームの完成、誠におめでとうございます。必ずや宿敵フルドエリカに勝利することを祈願してこれを捧げます。
God, it really is looking out like a baby chick. Pop. When presented with a champagne bottle in a sound like that, anyone would think that the cork had been pulled out. However, it wasn't the cork. It was the bottom of the bottle. The high-quality champagne that Beato had procured splashed out all over the floor in their dress. Then the same sound repeated several more times. Each time, one of the plates of food on the table was knocked into the air.
お父様、お気に召しませんでしたか？
お前は誰だ？
私はベアトリーチェでございます。お父様のために生まれてまいりました。
違う。こいつは誰だ？ベアトじゃない。そして俺をお父様なんて呼ぶな。これはどういうことだ？何なんだこれは。ベアトを蘇らせたんじゃなかったのか？源氏、これはどういうことだ？
恐れながら紛れもなくそのお方はベアトリーチェ様でございます。
そんなはずあるか？これのどこがベアトなんだ？
It truly is heartbreaking. Like, this is a heartbreaking situation, man. It's hurting me. God.
全然違う。偽物だ。
いいえ、ベアトリーチェ様でございます。ゲーム版のルールに従い生み出された紛れもなくベアトリーチェ様ご自身でございます。
いや、こんなのはベアトじゃない。ベアトってのはもっとおかしな喋り方をして品のない笑いをして、それから
いいえ、間違いなくベアトリーチェ様ご自身でございます。
じゃあどうしてこんな喋り方をする？どうして俺をお父様なんて呼ぶんだ？
ベアトリーチェ様はお生まれになったばかりでございます。かつてのような振る舞いをいきなり期待されるのはあまりに酷というものでございます。
まだ記憶が戻らないということなのか？
親方様、確かにこの方はベアトリーチェ様ご自身です。しかし親方様がよくご存知のベアトリーチェ様ではありません。
どういう意味だ？俺はゲームマスターなんだろう。どうしてベアトを蘇らせられないんだ？
ええ、確かによみがえりましたとも。しかしかつてのベアトリーチェ様は1000年を経られたベアトリーチェ様。一方こちらのベアトリーチェ様はご本人なれど生まれたばかり。違う人間のように見えるのは致し方ないことでございます。
じゃあどうやったらあのベアトは蘇るんだ。体はある、ここに。魂はどうやれば蘇る。
同じ1000年の人生を歩めばかつ
1000年を待てと。
人の性格は生まれながらだけのものではありません。その後の生き方や経験によっていかようにも変わります。
意味がわかりますか？
Love examination. I just noticed a track name.
同じベアトであっても同じでないということが。
Yeah.
わかるわ。同じ人間が2人いたとしても生い立ちで人はいくらでも変わる。
Yeah, exactly what I was saying earlier.
本来は同じ人間であるにもかかわらず、その生い立ちによって別人と言ってもいいほどに変わり得る。本来人は人であり、人格そのものを指して人とは呼びません。しかし人格を人だと認める人間たちにとってそれはさながら他人のようなものでしょう。
Yeah.
違いねえですね。お嬢だって12年前の気の毒な一件がなけりゃ今頃は笑顔が似合うキュートな女の子だったかもしれねえ。
You know, that's so true, Amakusa. Wait, what the fuck are you doing here for?
失礼ね。今だって十分キュートだってば。
I understand. If a personality is what makes a person in our eyes, you could probably say that a second personality represents a different person entirely, even if it inhabits the same flesh body. At the very least, I'm a completely different person than I used to be 12 years ago. And if my family had come home 12 years ago, then the Angie that resulted would surely be a completely different person from me. Even a single human can become a different person. In fact, depending on their upbringing and endless possibilities, they can become an endless number of different people. So just because this is Beato, that's no guarantee that she'll become the Beato that Oni-chan knows so well.
ましてや、ベアトリーチェは1000年を経た魔女。人は3日あれば死ぬことだって生まれ変わることだってできる。それが1000年じゃどうにもならないわね。
あなたはなかなかできる読者のようですね。並の読者相手だったら同一の人間であってもその生い立ちと時間によって別人になりうることを説明するために数百ページを割かねばならぬというのに。
Hey, I am a good fucking reader, alright? I understand stories, motherfucker. I don't need hundreds of pages to understand themes, parallels, narrative, fucking thematic correlation. Damn it, I have my media literacy badge.
あまり読者をなめないで。私たちはただ読んでるだけじゃない。読んで考えてるの。
Damn right.
100人に読ませれば90人くらいは読める。しかし意味がわかるのは50人。そしてそこからさらに考えられるのは20人もいない。よく噛んで飲み込みなさいと。ただそれだけの話なのに。しかしあなたはどうやらその貴重な20人の中の一人らしい。だからここへ招いたのです。人の子よ。
It was seriously hard to like this Hachijo Toya person. However, though this forgery she had written was still in its first stages, it definitely felt as though it contained something very similar to the tales in those message bottles. Speaking metaphorically, one might call it a scent. an indescribably unique and stern atmosphere like a stuffy library. The Beatrice who wrote the message bottles and Hachicho Toya are different people, and yet this has the same scent as that tale. I see. This is why some of those curious witch hunters are so intently devoted to her. Their keen sense of smell was able to sniff out that familiar scent.
さどうぞ続きを読んで。文字を追うあなたの顔を見るのが何よりも楽しいの。そして言葉を交わし合うことも。
物書きは感想に飢えてるってのは本当ね。でも申し訳ないけど、こんな分厚い原稿を延々と読んでる時間はないの。
Yeah, we don't have 7 hours to spare.
それより私はあなたに
時間なんていくらでもあるでしょうね。
Well, explains the number of clocks in this tavern. Both the second hand and the predium and the ornate clock behind Hachicho had been moving the whole time. However, absolutely no time had passed for a while now. Only about 3 minutes had gone by since the time she had entered the room.
ね、時間など気にすることもないでしょう。あなたが読み終わるまで、すべての時間はあなたを追い立てない。
Well, thank God, because I feel like I've been reading this story for a year.
じゃあ次のページ次のページ。
Hamakusa badgered me to turn the page, so I returned to the word of the tale once more. Why does her tail have the same scent as Beatrice's? I wonder. Is it because she actually has reached the truth as she claims? Does this mean that anyone who knows the truth could create an endless number of message bottles? I guess, yeah. In a sense, once you know the truth of a story, you can use that as a basis. Is that how the Catbox world works? I see. I guess she might also be an endless witch. In fact, maybe anyone who knows the truth can become an endless witch. An endless tale created by the endless witches. The 2 days, starting on October 4th, 1986, where my family's being toyed with endlessly. I have to end it. I have to find a hint of the truth from within this story and end this endless tale. Hmm.
どうだ、ベアト。俺の作った第6のゲームは。まあ、素直に褒めるやつじゃないもんな。せいぜい、無能なりにそこそこ頑張ったではないか。ってとこだろうぜ。
Ooh.
無能なりにそこそこ頑張ったではないか。
No, that's what he wanted, so she obliged him.
ゲームマスターの立場になってよくわかったぜ。お前も毎回随分と苦労してやがったんだってな。ゲームを作るのは楽なことではない。よもやそなたとそれをねぎらい合う日が来ようとはな。
Hell, I bet Badwar was even the one that gave her the pipe.
ゲームを作るのは楽なことではない。よもやそなたとそれをねぎらい合う日が来ようとはな。
違う。こんなのはベアトじゃない。
Badwar slammed hard on the desk, but the piece Beato showed no reaction. After all, Badwar hadn't ordered her to react. It would be easy to revive that Beato as a piece. However, it would only move according to Badwar's wishes. Having a conversation with it was no different than talking to himself. The Game Master could summon any kind of piece. He could move those pieces in any way he wanted, reigning as an absolute god. However, for that very reason, they were just pieces that made it unbelievably lonely and sad.
お前はたくさんの家具たちやいろいろな物語を紡ぎ出してきた。俺はそれを見て、お前はきっとさぞや楽しいだろうなと思っていた。
だが違う。
お前は信じられないくらいに孤独だったんだ。
Yeah.
お前にとって俺という自らに反逆する対戦相手がどれほど愉快なものか、今の俺には痛いほど理解できる。
礼儀正しいおかしなベアとは確かにお前なんだろうな。1000年前。しかし別人だ。お前の姿に瓜二つだからこそむしろ許せない。辛い。
しかしコマではないから俺の意志に背ける。
コマのお前なんかよりあのベアトの方がはるかに血は通ってるだろうぜ。それは認める。だが違うんだ。あれはお前じゃない。お前の生き別れの妹か何かで全くの別人なんだ。だからむしろどうしても受け入れられない。
As much as he hated the peace version of Beato, Beato felt an even stronger dislike for the chick Beato. Even after a whole 1,000 years, she still wouldn't become the original Beato. Even if she was ordered to act like the original Beato, it would just be an imitation. This was very similar, but separate person, and definitely not Beato herself. So in the previous game, Beato really did disappear for all eternity. Even after becoming the Game Master, there's no way to revive her.
笑えよ、この無様な俺を。
Jesus. Just give it a West already. There's just an illusion who won't laugh unless I order it, and can't even continue to laugh unless I keep on ordering it. Just disappear! Damn. Damn, man. I have to say. This is, fuck. God. This is definitely a different tone. I have to say, this is a very different tone than previous episodes, but it isn't confusing. I can understand it. I can grasp what it is, and God, you can't imitate somebody. You can't perfectly capture someone. You know, you can't predict every move they'll make. You can't truly know every single detail of a person's life. You can't recreate them. You know, every person is unique. In that sense, no matter how many times you imagine in your head of, like, talking to your friends, for example, you cannot perfectly create a perfect conversation that would go one-to-one with the conversation you would have with them the next day, for example. It just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. That's why we, trust one another. That's why we have relationships, in order to try and understand each other. So we aren't lonely, you know? Because we can't create people out of our own minds. We can't have conversations with ourselves, because that just be having a conversation with ourselves with just a different face, different mouth, really. And we become lonely. Damn, this is the most intriguing episode. And that's actually saying a lot after everything else we've been through in this series. But this one's goddamn intriguing, and I'm so curious on what happens next. But yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button or tell me something, put that in the comments as well. Check out Discord server out in, or my Twitter, check description below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!